everyone. Today I'm going to show you an easier way to water your garden that's going to spread the water out over your garden and landscape, and it's very easy to install. We have Sam from Mr. Landscaper here with us today to show you why micro sprayers are going to be your new best friend. We're going to break it down, when to use them, how to install them so that your garden and landscape are thriving. This is Sam, the inventor and founder of Mr. Landscaper. You might have seen him on our recent drip irrigation video. Sam, welcome back. So glad you're here again.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Mac's glad too.
Hey, Mac.
Tell us about micro sprayers. When should we use them in our garden, and what are they?
Okay, thanks for the asking. These are actually a stake assembly that I have in my hand. And what a micro spray means is that it's a micro amount of water, right? So like say a sprinkler uses like say 100 to 120 gallons of water an hour. These are designed to use around 10 to 15 gallons of water an hour. So it's much, much less water. But what it does is it allows the water to just get over like a 4 to 5 foot distance of radius so that you're not just dripping the water like a dripper does. This one kind of takes drip, a little bit more water, and sprays it in a nice even spray.
Nice. So I've been using these in my garden and I really love how easy they are to install. But I know a lot of people are wondering, why would I use micro sprinklers over drip?
Sure. So what I love about micro sprays is that one, you can see it, right? With drip, once you install it and turn it on, unless you kind of move the soil around, it's really kind of hard to see it, right?
Yeah.
But with a micro spray, that once you install it and you turn it on, you can really see the coverage you're getting. So it's a visual thing, and I like the fact that you're getting all your roots wet, because a lot of plants, their feeder roots are right underneath the canopy, and that's more than just a drip of water. That is really spreads out, and it can be like 3 to 4 feet. So I like that with the micro spray, I'm covering more of the feeder roots, and I like the aspect that I can adjust them, I can take them in and out, and I can clean them. I can't clean my drippers, right? You have to usually, dispose of them, throw them away. But with a micro spray, you can actually clean it.
That's awesome. And I know installing them here in my garden, just trying them out, I've fallen in love with them. There's so many different patterns, which I think are really fun.
Yep.
So you can really get the coverage that you need and get a wider coverage, so you're covering all the soil.
Yep.
Like you mentioned, the roots. When you have more roots, you're gonna be growing more vegetables.
Yep. And Kim, let me also say how flexible they are. So in my hand, do you see this vinyl, how flexible our tubing is?
Yes.
So let's pretend you're my poly tubing and I hooked into you. Look how far away I can get. So let's say I put it here to start with, but then I'm like, no, I need a little over here. It's just the flexibility is so great. And if I snap it in there and that's not exactly where I want it, I could put a goof plug and install it somewhere else.
That's great. I love that flexibility. Sam, are micro sprayers just for the vegetable garden?
No, Kim, you can use it in your landscapes, to water trees, to water flowers, shrubs, just about anything. We usually say not to water grass with it, but we've seen even people use it to water grass, a small patch of grass next to their landscapes.
Oh, that's great. Now, I'm fairly new to micro sprayers, so I really love how you're teaching me about this. But I started with this kit here. It makes it so easy when you just don't know what to buy when you're first starting out.
I agree.
And one thing I love about the kit here, this is the micro sprinkler landscape and shrub kit, but we're going to use it for the vegetable garden today, is the pictures on the back. I mean, this is a game changer. There's pictures of all the parts in the kit along with written instructions. So if you've never used it before, you know exactly how to install it. And we're going to install both in the vegetable garden and in the landscape today too, so that'll be fun. Let's pull out what's in the kit and let's see what we got in here.
We have your, what I call your main line, that's your 1/2-inch poly tubing.
Okay.
Then we have a bag of the parts. We have 5 of the stake assemblies. I'll hand those to you.
Oh, perfect.
And of course we have a little guide inside each kit because we want you to know all the products, but we also have some nice tricks and hints in here, along with maximum runs. Because even though it's micro, there is a maximum run that you can do with these. The maximum runs for micro sprays are typically around 40 to 45 stake assemblies per faucet or per line.
Perfect. That's always important. We'll get into more of the details of everything in the kit as we do the install.
Okay, great. And then I'll just go over some of the parts a little bit. We have inside each kit a punch tool to punch the hole. We have your end fittings. Let me just go ahead and pour this out here. most people come off a faucet, Kim, and go in two directions. So we have a T to go in two directions. We like putting a coupling in every kit because you can use these to add on later. You know, you could add up to 5 more kits to this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I want to cover my whole garden then.
Exactly. And then there's your end crimpers to crimp the end. And then we have all these little color-coded micro sprays. The reason why we have those is that every stake assembly already has a 3-in-1 micro spray on it. So in this one, there's a 165 degree that comes with it. But these little tops, we have a patent on that. They come off.
Oh, that's handy.
So that's a 320 flat pattern, and then you reverse it and put it back on the opposite way. And now you have a 180 pattern.
That is so handy.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
And you can interchange them. So I can unscrew this one out of here, and then I can thread in any of my other ones. I have full circles, downstreams, 90s, center strips. So we have a lot of options.
Oh my goodness, I love that because basically any area of my garden, you've got a pattern that's going to match it with quick pop-off tops. I mean, you've really made it easy.
And Kim, with this kit, we wanted to give our customers the best value we could by including everything they would need in a 50-foot run. And also we wanted to give them the same thing we use agriculturally, the same quality that we use to water our citrus groves. We wanted to give that to a homeowner so that they would have something that would last for years and be easy to install. Okay, we're gonna start at the hose bib.
All right, let's head down there. So Sam, how do we begin our install here?
Okay, Kim, so the first thing we would normally do is just hook up the hose fitting to your timer or faucet to run the poly. But let's use this opportunity to talk about pressure.
Oh yeah, very important.
Right, so as we know with drip irrigation, we have to put a 25-pound regulator. With micro sprays, you don't really have to put a regulator unless you have 50 pounds or higher. And most of us around the United States have less than that. But for those of us that have higher pressure, it's really highly recommended that you do that. It's a little bit too much for micro irrigation to have more than 50 pounds. And those of you that might wonder or not know what their water pressure is.
How do you know?
I wouldn't know what mine is either. You would actually just simply call wherever you write your check to, whoever you pay for your water,
okay,
you would actually call that municipality and you would ask them, what is the water pressure in your area? So It's not real precise, but if you needed to be really precise and you want to know what your water pressure is at your faucet, just use this simple fitting you can get right online.
That's like a pressure gauge?
It's a pressure gauge.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
It has a hose fitting already on it, and you just thread it onto the timer like this. Turn on the manual setting, and then as that manual setting comes on, it's going to read what your pressure is. So we're going to turn the manual setting on for let's just say a couple minutes, and that way we can get a good reading.
And then we know what the water pressure is coming from this faucet.
Yep.
Whether or not we need to install a pressure
wow,
gauge.
look at how much pressure
Whoa,
y'all have.
So we've got like 70 pounds of pressure.
More. Well, yeah, it's about that.
Wow.
That's a lot of water pressure.
That's great.
Yep. So now we're going to undo the manual, turn that back off, and then we're going to just undo this pressure regulator. Might have a little water come out. No big deal. So now we know you need a 50-pound regulator, right?
Okay.
All right, so there's not one in the kit, but don't worry, you can order one separately online.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So for now, for demonstration purposes, let's just go ahead and hook up the kit like you normally would with about 50 pounds of pressure.
Great. Before we install the other components of our micro sprayer system, Sam and I highly recommend that you install a backflow preventer fitting or an exterior faucet with anti-siphon protection that meets your local code requirements, because the code might be different in your area than it is in my area. So just check with your local municipality. Now, this little fitting is very easy to install. All you have to do is install it right after your timer if you're using a timer, or you can install it directly to your faucet. It's just a small little fitting, and what this does is it simply prevents fluids from your irrigation system from leaking into your potable water system. So you just simply screw it on the end here, and then you can install the rest of your components, either your pressure regulator or your hose fitting after that. Now, we're not actually using one down here because this faucet actually feeds to one of our faucets up on the hill where we have a backflow preventing installed there. And you can find these fittings at most garden centers or hardware stores or even on Amazon. I'll put the link to the one we're using in the video description. And I know this is a lot to take in, so no worries. You can always contact Mr. Landscaper's customer service team. They're always happy to help. And you can find out how to contact them over at mrlandscaper.com.
So you first start with the hose fitting.
Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
You got it.
I always forget.
It's
I always have to say that.
So once you have that screwed on tight, now
and I wanted to mention real quick, we forgot to talk about the timer. Like I always hook up a timer to everything.
I agree.
And you can grab that separate over at mrlandscaper.com because I'm going to forget to water my vegetables. I won't have time, and this way I can set it and forget it.
Yeah.
It turns it on and turns it off for me.
Yeah, like me, someone like me, I'll turn it on and forget to turn it off.
Oh,
and
that's a really big problem.
Yeah, it can be all night that thing could be running before I figure it out.
Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and hook up my 1/2 inch.
Yeah, so you
This
take
is my main water line here. So tell me about this O-ring.
Sure. Okay, so the first thing you do, Kim, is pull up that locking collar like you've done, and there's a built-in O-ring right there. So you want to push that tubing on far enough to where it gets past the O-ring so that when you tighten that collar back down, it really grips it and snugly holds onto it.
Okay, so just wiggle it back
Yeah,
and
just
forth.
wiggle it back and forth, push on till it's tight.
Yep, I can feel it moving in there and getting nice and tight.
Yep, and then you just take that collar and you're going to go counterclockwise back over the tubing till it's tight. And it shouldn't take but maybe half the full turn.
Oh, perfect.
There you go, now you're tight.
Nice. You know what, I have one more question. I remember with the drip we had to install that filter on the end.
Yeah.
Why don't we have to do that with the microsprays?
Well, with the microsprays, if you're coming off of city water, municipality, that is some clean water. So even if some little bit of debris got in there, all you'd have to do is, if like say any of the microsprinklers got clogged up, you would just use the tool, our cleaning tool, and use that pin to go in and out of the orifices to clean them.
Perfect.
But it rarely ever happens off of city water.
So we can skip the whole filter step with the microsprayers.
Right.
But we need to have it with the drip.
Definitely.
Okay.
That's a must. Those orifices are really small. So now that you've got it all hooked up, I wanted to teach you today a really cool trick that I learned as a contractor 40 years ago, is the easy way to unroll this tubing. Because it's just a little stiffer. It's not like the vinyl, it's polyethylene.
A little squirrely.
Right. And then the first thing you might want to do on a sunny day is just leave this roll of tubing out on a piece of sidewalk, just to heat it up.
Okay.
But if, let's say you didn't have the time to do that, no big deal. You just take the end crimper that comes in the kit and you just insert it onto the end of the tubing, crimp it, put it back on, and now this is going to blow your mind.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to turn the manual on for, let's say, 2 minutes, and when that water comes on, it's going to fill up that hose.
Oh,
and it's going to make unwinding it so easy. There it is.
Water rolling.
Now it's on.
It's getting heavier.
It's going to get real heavy.
I can't believe this. I always struggle with crimps and problems with the hose as I'm unrolling it.
Yep, and there you go. You just simply unroll it just like you're doing.
Oh man, this is a breeze. I can take it right up to the garden bed without any kinks or problems.
Yeah, look at that. See how nice that lays out?
Oh my goodness. I wish I would have known this 10 years ago. So we're going to bring it right up to the garden bed, Sam. And is there any certain position I should place it in?
No, you're doing great.
Okay, great.
Just keep unrolling it all the way down if you want. I'll grab on it.
Perfect.
Finish it on over. Can you believe how this lays out?
I'm amazed.
I know. Okay, so now that you're at the end, what we're going to do is we're going to end it with the end crimpers. Okay. So kind of decide where would you want the line to end. If it would be like right there, then you want to cut it like say about 6 inches over here, because once we crimp it, it will end over here.
Okay.
So there you go. Just use any pair of scissors, and you're just going to cut the tubing. And a little water might come out because we filled it. And then you're going to take one end of the tubing and run it through. There you go. And then go about, 6 inches there. And then you're just going to pinch the poly tubing in half. Way to go, Kim.
Oh,
that's
easy.
perfect.
Perfect.
Crazy.
Nice.
You did it.
All right.
And that's it. That's how you end it.
That's easy.
And then, Kim, if you ever, like, say you're, live above the winter, where you have to winterize, you just uncrimp that in and let it drain out.
Oh, that's great.
You want to try it?
Yeah,
it's
sure.
really cool. Watch this. And now see the water draining out?
Oh, perfect.
That's how you winterize.
That's great.
It's that simple.
We've got our main water line down, so what's the next step?
Okay, so now we figure out where we want to place the stake assemblies.
Cool.
So in this area, Kim, I'm thinking we got about 12 feet wide and about 4 feet deep.
Yeah.
And typically with microsprays, we put them about every 6 to 7 feet apart. So what I would probably do is put one of our 180s, which already comes on the stake assembly. So I can just literally put this one here. So that's going to cover a 180 pattern in this area. And then down at the very end, Kim, I would suggest using our 90 degree. So all we got to do is change out this microspray with one of our 90s.
Oh, that's so
that
easy.
simple. So should I go ahead and do that now?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's see how you do that.
And Kim, I gave everybody 2 90s. Okay, so
Nice.
this blue one is a 90, and on one of our swap tops, there's a 90 on one side and a center strip on the other.
Oh my goodness.
Yep, so for this purpose, I'll just go ahead and put in one of our 90s because I know that's what I want to use. And so the 90 will go in the corner over here. So I'm watering this corner area.
You mean I can water this entire 12 by foot garden bed with 2 little sprayers?
Right, and once we get them going and you're just like, oh, this is really great, but maybe I want I want to have a little bit extra. Kim, we have so many in the kit, we can put another one over there.
Oh man, my mind is blown. It makes it so much easier to get things going here. So how do I install these cool little stakes?
Oh, you're gonna be blown away. They're so simple because inside each kit, we put a punch tool. So this sharp little point here is going to puncture a hole into the poly tubing that will allow you to press in our flow restrictor.
Oh, cool.
And what I would normally suggest, Kim, is a lot of people naturally just want to come in and punch a hole here on the top.
Right.
Because it's, it's easy, it's right there. But when you do that, see how the tubing would kind of stick up in the air?
Yes.
So by punching it from the side, Kim, look how nice and flat it lays.
That's nice. Nice
Yeah.
and flush against the ground.
Yeah. So I'm going to let you do it. If you'll just punch a hole in the side there, Kim.
Okay.
And you just grab the tubing like you are and just push in. You got it.
Oh, piece of cake.
Yep. And then just pull out.
Wow.
And then
awesome.
before you snap this in, I just want to go over a couple really cool features about this. You see how small that orifice is?
Oh yes, it's tiny.
That's the flow restrictor part. So typically, these are our barbed adapters that we always have. You see how large the opening is. That's to pass through water going to anything that you want to use with our 1/4-inch
From
vinyl.
the drip kit, right?
Yeah,
okay,
right.
Perfect.
But with the stake assemblies, we manufacture these flow controlled ones, flow restricted ones, so that you use less water. So about 10 to 15 gallons an hour is going to come through that microspray.
Oh wow.
And you may ask, Sam, why would you do that? The reason why we put these on here is so that you can put more in a line. Typically with our black, straight coupling, you could probably put maybe 30 stakes on a line. And what happens is the first stakes use most of the water, and by the time you get to the end, you're still spraying, but it's very light. By putting a flow restrictor on every stake, you can put now 40 to 45 on a line, and they're all evenly spraying. So you have a lot more evenness throughout your landscape bed where you're watering.
Nice, so I don't have to worry about checking every single microsprayer to make sure it's all coming out.
Yeah.
You solved that problem for me.
Yes, we tried. And so here, you want to go ahead and snap it in?
Yes.
Okay. You just push in and you'll hear a pop.
There we go. I know it's in there.
Yep.
That's a good sign.
Yep, and you see how nice and flat it lays on the
great.
ground? How nice that is?
I like how it's green too, so it'll kind of blend in with my plants.
Yeah, and I even in the kit put in 4 goof plugs.
I'm definitely gonna need those.
So where you had just snapped that in, let's just say, oh man, I wanted it somewhere else. You want me to show you how easy it is?
Yes,
okay.
please do.
All right, so they come on our runner system, so I'll just have you take one off for me.
Nice. I like how they're all together, so I'm not losing them.
Yeah, just snap one off.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then you just pull these out. So you see the little ears that we have on these?
Yes.
That is so you can easily grab it and pull it out.
Oh, that makes it simple.
Yep.
I'm usually fighting with those connectors.
And then you want to take and press that goof plug right into that hole. There you go. And just snap it in.
I love that snap. It tells me I've done it right.
And it's sealed.
Perfect.
Yeah. And you notice how flat our goof plugs are? I noticed that you had some in here from another company that were kind of stick up high.
Yes.
And I worry about you know, kicking those and maybe pulling them out.
Exactly.
Well, with ours, by being flush like that, you know, we know it's going to stay in there.
Nice. And the other goof plugs, they always leak around the goof plugs.
I understand that.
Drives me nuts.
Well, there you go.
Perfect.
You have now sealed that, and now you can punch a hole somewhere else.
Oh, nice.
So you want to go ahead and do it? Punch a new hole? There you go.
There we go, right here. Pop.
And then snap in your...
Snap it in.
There you go.
And we are good to go.
You're good to go.
Nice. We'll go down here and do the other one now.
Sounds great.
Here's a little trick Sam taught me. If you hold the hose right where you're going to punch it, the hose won't move around on you. It's a lot easier to punch that hole.
Nice.
Another quick tip that Sam taught me is to flush the line before we turn on the micro sprinklers. That way any debris doesn't get stuck in the line and then clog up the micro sprinklers. And we could have done this while we were installing, but we're just going to do it now. So to do this, I'm going to go ahead and uncrimp the line. Sam, hit that water.
Okay, here it comes, Kim.
Okay, here it comes. I think that's good. We flushed the line. You want to turn it off?
Okay.
I'm going to crimp it back up. Okay, Sam, I think we're ready for the test. You can go ahead and hit the water again. Test the sprayers.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, I'm going to open the valves first. Oh, look at that spray. That is such a pretty pattern. Get that one open. Now we're in business. Here we go. This is so much fun. Look at this spray pattern. This is beautiful.
I don't know about you, but I get so excited when I see the patterns. Even after all 40 years, I still get really happy about seeing our microspray spray.
Yeah, it is so cool. Look at all that water coming out. Now, one of the things I love about these is you can adjust the amount of water that's coming out just by turning this little valve. If I don't want it spraying quite that far, I can lower that, which lowers the water, or I can actually change the direction of the sprayers. Say I want a little more coverage over here. This is the nice 180 pattern.
Yep. Or you
really good coverage.
Or you can actually turn them off, Kim, if you wanted to. Let's say those veggies are done. You can just take the valve and turn it all the way till it stops, and it shuts it off.
Nice, and it keeps that one.
And this
nice
one can
and
still
even
be
at the same
spraying.
time.
And again, we can adjust this one, so I can turn it way down if it's spraying too far.
Like if I don't want it spraying the steps up there.
Yeah. See, I can turn it way down.
Nice. We can really conserve water, and we can still very accurately water the area that we want to water. And there is something just fun about seeing the water spray as opposed to the drip in the ground.
I agree. Look at the rainbow. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah. Now, Sam, I've been telling people for years to keep the leaves of your vegetables dry. So how does that play into this?
Okay, so Kim, right now, because you just got kind of like new plantings, but as your plants start growing and getting taller, every one of these microsprays has a flat angle spray. So you could take the stakes and push them all the way flat to the ground.
So it will still water at the base of the plant, and that way we're avoiding disease as much as we can in the garden.
Yeah, you just push it down, and then
Wow,
because
nice. This tubing is so flexible.
Yeah, you can just move the tubing around, or you can pick that up. If you pick it all the way up, we can get it underneath there.
Okay.
And then you can actually move the mulch so that the vinyl tubing will get even lower. There you go. See how low you can get it?
That's great.
See, now, if you feel it, water's not hitting on top of the plants as much.
Okay, perfect. Now, what if I want to make this taller, say in the case of watering my flower beds as they grow?
We have a couple options for you, Kim. The first option is our 8-inch extension. It's a little device like this, and you literally raise the height of the microspray by putting it in between where it is now. So you just unthread the microspray, and in between the microspray and the stake, you're going to add this 8-inch extension.
Perfect.
And it just threads right in just like the microsprays do.
Oh, that's very handy.
Isn't that nice?
I love that. Twists right in.
It twists right in. And we even put these little arms right there so it gives you a little leverage.
Oh, it makes it so easy.
Yeah. And then you put the microspray back into the top of the extension and you just thread it in.
Easy to screw on.
Yep.
Make sure the spray is away from me, right? I don't want to get wet here. Okay, let's check this baby out.
All
oh,
right.
sorry, Jerry.
And then you just push the stake back down in, and now you've raised the height of the stake.
Nice, good coverage there. I like that.
Now the other option is, now these, just to remind everybody, these are not included in the stakes. We sell them separately.
Okay.
But the other way you can extend the height of the stake is to use a piece of PVC. And so I cut a piece, like maybe 24 inches for you so that we could demonstrate it.
Oh, let's check this out.
Yeah, and you're just gonna actually push that way down into the ground.
Okay.
Actually, if you want to push it closer, see where the stake is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe get it over here closer to there you go, and just push it down about that much.
Oh, cool.
And then you should be able to just pick that up and put it right into the top of that PVC.
Oh, that's nice. So now I even have a wider amount of coverage here.
Yeah.
And I love how the spray looks.
Isn't that cool?
It's just kind of dropping down like that.
Yeah.
Feels
So,
nice and cool underneath.
so if your plants got really tall, like some do, like your flowers, dahlias, whatever, then you can kind of mist over the top of them.
I love the even coverage the micro sprayers give my raised beds here. But a question I get asked all the time is, how much do I water my garden and how often do I water it? Now, the good thing about micro sprayers is you're getting good even coverage, so all the feeder roots are getting nice, good, even watering as well. But what I like to do when I'm first watering a garden bed is kind of use my finger as a moisture meter. I'm going to demonstrate and just go ahead and turn off this micro sprinkler here, which I love that you can do that. Just shut it off. And then it's been getting watered here for about 15 minutes or so. So I'm just gonna test the moisture of the soil just by pulling some of the soil back, putting my finger in. It feels nice and wet down below there. So this is getting good, even coverage. Now, if you put your finger in, if you've watered for 10 minutes, put your finger in and it's still dry down there, that generally means that you need to set your timer for a little bit longer so you get nice, even moisture in your garden beds. And during periods of high heat, you're definitely gonna have to check the watering a little bit more often. That's really the key, is just monitoring the moisture level of the soil and then adjusting your timer based on that. Now, the good thing is about a lot of timers is that you can set them to go off at different intervals throughout the day. So you might want to water during hot spells, a few minutes in the morning, a few minutes in the afternoon, and then maybe a deeper watering in the evening, just to make sure your vegetables are getting the moisture that they need. We installed the micro sprinklers in this raised bed literally in about 15 minutes. I love how easy and quick they are to install. If I was installing drip irrigation in this bed, I would be winding the hoses around. It would take me much, much longer, which that's fine if that's how you want to do it. But micro sprinklers just make the whole process so quick and easy. Now, Sam also told me that I can use micro sprayers to water the landscape, my trees and shrub and other landscaping around our backyard. So he's actually going to help us install micro sprayers along the trees along our back fence. Let's go. After getting the micro sprayers installed over there, I can't wait to get them installed here for our trees. So we're going to use a different kit for that.
Yeah, so the kit that we just used was 50 linear feet of half-inch poly, right? So that will cover about a 250 square foot area. But back here you have quite a bit more. So we want to use one of our bigger kits. We call this our premium kit.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and it's got 100 feet of tubing. And instead of 5 stake assemblies in the kit, this one has 12.
Oh, wow. That should be plenty of space. I think we've got about 65 feet here behind us against our fence.
And with that 65 feet where you would need to roll out our tubing, you also have a little bit of a distance over to the faucet. So with 100 feet, we're going to be able to go over to the faucet, and you even have a little bit left over.
Oh, that's great. Well, let's pull everything out and see what's in here.
All right, sounds great. So I'm just going to open the back. And before I do that, Kim, I just want to show you, this kit also has the instructions on the back.
My favorite part. I love that.
I know you love that. I wanted to point that out.
Thank you.
And that makes it nice for those that really, we have a lot of customers like me that don't like to read so much the instructions. We like to see the pictures.
Yeah, it really helps.
All right, so let me just pull these out, or we can just slide it open.
Sounds good.
Pull all these out. So there's
lots of goodies in there.
Lots of goodies.
I love that.
This one has a lot in it.
Ooh, this is going to be fun.
Yep. So there is our 12 stake assemblies, the guide so that people can look through parts and also look at maximum runs. We'll leave that back here in the kit. So we have our 12 stake assemblies, we have 100 feet of tubing, and then we have all these parts. Okay, Kim, now that we have everything out of the kit box, I just want to show you some of the nice features that we have in this kit. We have our all-in-one tool, And this is such a cool tool.
I love this one.
And I think we used it yesterday for the drip kit, right?
We did. It's a great tool. So handy.
So you have your punch here in the center, and it guides over the tubing so that you know exactly where to punch. See how these ears guide over?
It's very ergonomic.
Yes, yes.
Love
and
that.
we also, sorry to take that away from your shot so quick, but we also have a cleaning tool in there for the orifices of the microsprays if they got clogged, and that just lifts right out. And see that pin? That is so that you can go down inside the orifice to clean it out.
Oh my goodness, you really have thought of everything with this tool.
Yep.
That's great.
And you can put it back so you don't lose it. It just snaps right back in there.
Perfect.
And then the other cool things that we did with this kit is we weren't sure what kind of pressure, like you have really high pressure here. So we went ahead and put a 50-pound regulator in here. So it has hose thread fittings on it, so it fits right to your faucet or timer. And the other side has hose thread fittings so that you can attach our hose fitting. And that's so that you can run the poly tubing, you know, along your plants, you know, where you're going to water. The other neat things that we put in this kit is the support stakes. These actually clip on to the 1/2-inch tubing so it holds it in place.
Oh, that's nice, especially with a long area to cover.
Right? And then just in case, I know, I mean, I see around your beautiful gardens you have potted plants, you know, all over. We decided that while you're irrigating or, you know, watering your landscapes, we would also throw in a couple of our pot stakes. So if you had like a really nice container right there, you could feed this over to the 1/2-inch tubing and place a pot stake inside the pot.
Oh my goodness, and that is such an easy way to water my pots. I've been trying it and I absolutely love it.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
And then we have two different styles of end fittings. So we have the crimpers that, you know, everybody's used to using, like crimping the tubing. But we also have these end fittings that press onto the tubing like our other fittings do. But they also have a cap. It's a removable cap so that if you wanted to winterize and undo the cap, let the water drain out.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's that easy.
Wow. I can see why it's called the premium kit for sure.
Exactly. And so if you're ready, let's go install it.
Sure. You know what? One more thing.
Sure, sure.
I noticed different color little micro sprayers in here. So you also included different types of sprayers.
Thank you for bringing that up. So every stake already has the 3-in-1. So the 3-in-1, we have a 165 sprat pattern. And then when you pull this top off, you just come from the back and pull forward. There's two different patterns. You have a 180 on one side and a 165 on the other side. And then when it's no top at all on it, it's a 320 fan spray. So it's a full circle little fan spray. And they just slide on and off just like that. And there's a little click.
Nice.
So you know you have it on. So all these other micro sprays is so you can have different spray patterns. We have full circles that spin around. We have down sprays for, like, you know, roses or things you don't want the water on the leaves. 90s, center strips. So we try to think of everything a homeowner would need, along with, of course, the goof plugs.
Oh, I love those. So no matter what I need to water or if I make mistakes, I'm very well covered here.
Yes, you are. We were trying to make it, Kim, so that the value, we have so much value in this kit. Also, we wanted to make it to where you didn't have to go back to the store or go back to our website, right, to buy any parts. We wanted you to have everything you would need.
So we've got everything out of the premium kit. Is there anything different we need to do with this install as opposed to the 50-foot kit?
Well, this one's just a little different because in the premium kit, we do include a 50-pound regulator. So I would like to, and especially since your house has, you know, 70 pounds of pressure, I would really like to see us install this and then hook up the hose fitting to that pressure regulator.
Okay, let's do it.
So the first thing you would do is you would literally thread that pressure regulator right onto the timer. And for viewers that are maybe noticing, this is a dual timer. With this timer, you can have two different irrigation systems running, and they will come on separately at different times.
That's great. It's exactly what I need.
So now that we have the pressure regulator on, the next thing is to put the hose fitting on.
Okay.
And you just keep hand turning it until it's tight.
And it is kind of nice that this timer will swivel so I can orient it to wherever I need to bring the hose to.
And then I'll hand you a piece of the end of the tubing that you're going to put on. There you go. The first thing you're going to do, Kim, is you're going to pull back the locking collar.
Okay.
So that you see the O-ring. and then you're just going to push that tubing on hard enough and wiggle and push to where you get the tubing past the O-ring. And you'll feel it kind of get tight in there and stop.
Perfect, yeah, I got it.
And then you just counterclockwise turn that locking collar right over the tubing. That's it. Okay, Kim, now that you've got it hooked up to the faucet, now we're going to unroll the poly tubing, but let's go and use the trick I taught you.
I love that.
Okay, so the first thing we want to do is put that in fitting on the end.
Make sure it's crimped up real good, huh?
Yep. Awesome.
I'm getting to be a pro at this,
That's
Sam,
right.
without your help.
Thank you. And then I'm going to turn it on manually. I'm going to hit zone 2, hit it for like, say, 2 minutes. And then when the timer comes on, you'll see like a little faucet with water coming out of it. It takes a few seconds for it to do. There you go.
Oh, nice.
Now it's going to start filling up. And it's 100 feet instead of 50, so it might feel a little heavier.
Now I can just run this along my
But
back
look how
fence.
well that unrolls, Kim.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I will be ready for micro sprinkler all these trees back here.
That's right. No kinking. Just keep unrolling. You got it.
It's really nice with a long section like this to be able to unroll it easily.
Great job, Kim.
Go behind my trees, no kinking.
Life is good.
Yeah, it's real good now. So we've just unrolled the line here from the water source along the back fence. We're going to stake it down with the handy stakes that are in the kit. Keep it in place. Sometimes if you have heavy clay soil, you might need to use a mallet and give it a couple taps to pound it in. You can go ahead and turn the water on just a little bit so we can flush it out. There we go.
So Kim, the reason why we do this is that while the water's flowing out the end like this, as we snap in the stake assemblies, just in case any dirt or debris, was on the tubing, and when we punch the hole, that debris will go out the tubing as we're installing.
Oh, so it's not going to get stuck in the micro sprayers that way.
Exactly.
Perfect, and clog them up.
Yeah.
Great. I think we're ready to install the micro sprinklers now.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. Sam, thanks so much for giving me that tip to not punch it in from the top. So I'd be tripping over it when I was back in here. I'm going to go in from the side. And I remember how you told me to hold the tubing right where I'm making the hole. Little pop. It's perfect. A little bit of water coming out, which is good. We're flushing it out, right? Not going to get all wet because we just have the water on a little bit. And there's that nice pop again. Loving it. How far down then should I put the next micro sprayer?
Typically what we do is place them about every 6 to 7 feet.
Okay. Okay, sprayer number 2.
Where you just snapped it in, let's just say that's not exactly where you wanted it. No big deal. In the kit are goof plugs, so you could actually goof plug that hole, or you can just pick up the stake and move it to the left or right.
Oh, perfect. I'll scooch it down just a little bit here.
And you can use your mallet that you use to do the support stakes. See that little top part of the stake? That's designed for a hammer.
Oh, perfect. Strong enough to handle that too, huh?
Yeah.
So we'll get one more in down here so our trees get a lot of coverage. And I think we'll be good to go. About 6 feet down. One last one here. Piece of cake. Now I know we usually use the end crimpers, but you've got this little fitting, that end cap in the kit. So let's use this one.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
So what we've done, now that we've flushed the system and turned it off, so what we're really doing here, Kim, is just ending the line. And with our fittings, again, they have these O-rings built in. So you pulled it back the collar so you see the O-ring, perfect. Now you're gonna push and wiggle that on to get the tubing way up past that O-ring. And you'll kind of feel it as you push down, you'll feel it stop.
Oh yeah.
And now that it's stopped, now you're gonna twist that fitting back over the tubing till it tightens.
Perfect. A few twists is all you need.
That's it.
It's so simple.
And what's nice is you can undo it later if you needed to. Like say you wanted to add on, these kits all have couplings on them, and I want to add on and add another 100 feet or so, you would just undo this fitting, put in a coupling and keep going.
That's perfect. So I could extend this all the way down past like my orange tree and my grapevine down there and water all that too.
That's right.
That's great.
So cool.
Sam just gave me a great little tip here, and I've been installing drip irrigation in our yard for probably 12 years, and I never knew this. What I did wrong is I punched with my hole punch at an angle. I came at an angle in, and I came at an angle out, and what that did is it stretched the hole out too much, which caused a little leak.
Yeah, so what happened is when we turned the water on, it was blowing out a lot around that barb fitting. And so the way to fix this, Kim, is you have two choices. You could put in a goof plug, and hopefully that would seal it. But let's just say it doesn't seal it. Let's show the viewers how you would replace or fix this poly tubing that has a stretched out hole.
Okay, perfect.
And I would use our coupling, our 1/2-inch coupling that's in the kit. We have it in the kit to expand the kit, but it's also there to do any repairs like we need to right now.
Oh, perfect. And if I can make mistakes, and I've been doing it for years, anybody can.
And I do it all the time too, Kim. We all do this.
Oh,
it's just a common thing that happens.
Okay.
And so all you want to do is you want to just cut before and after that where it's damaged, and you just want to cut that section of the poly out.
Okay. So I just need a little bit?
Yeah.
About that length?
Yeah, just about the part that's in the center of the coupling. You're going to cut out just right before the goof plug where it would go, and right after, that's it.
Okay, perfect.
That's all you need to cut out.
Nice small little section here.
Now you have fresh tubing.
Nice. I want to make sure I really wiggle this tubing really good here, so the tubing goes all the way over
past that O-ring.
The O-ring. Tighten it down.
Yep. Great job.
Thank you.
And it tightened fast, so you know you got it on there far enough.
And then the other end.
Kim, I'm really glad this happened because it gives us a chance to show viewers how easy it is to repair this tubing in case something like this happens to them.
That's right, and we all make mistakes.
Yeah, me too. That's why we call it the goof plug.
Okay, there we go.
Now you're all sealed and ready to go.
Nice. Now I'm going to re-punch the hole with the tip Sam gave me. Straight in, nice pop there, and straight out.
Awesome,
so we
Kim.
got a nice clean hole.
That is so good.
Awesome. We'll reinstall our micro sprayer connector here, right in.
Little flow restrictor.
Flow restrictor. All right, nice, good pop. I think we're good to go, Sam.
I think we are. Great job.
Thanks for those tips. And we've got spray. Would you look at this? This is so exciting. With just a few micro sprayers, I'm watering the entire length of my back fence. It's so easy to water this large area and so quick and simple to install. Thank you so much, Sam, for coming to our garden again today and showing everyone how easy and quick it is to water with micro sprayers. We're all benefiting so much from your expertise.
Oh, Kim, it was such a joy to be here with you and Jerry and getting to show everyone how easy it is and to let them know that they can do it themselves and they can save water, save time, and just save a lot of headache from dragging around garden hoses.
That's for sure. Now, where can people find Mr. Landscaper?
MrLandscaper.com. It's that easy. And on the site, we have live chat. You can email us, or you can even call. We actually, if we answer the phone, a live person answers the phone, that means we're there.
That's
and if
amazing.
not, that means we've gone home.
And don't forget to use the code CaliKim for 20% off your order. Thank you very much for that discount.
Of course, it's our pleasure.
Thanks for watching. See you next time in the garden.